All right, welcome to today's explainer. You know, if you've ever used a computer, you've almost certainly doodled in classic MS Paint. It's practically a digital rite of passage. But today we're taking a massive leap. We're exploring Microsoft's Paint 3D, and we are moving from a flat canvas into a world with true, actual depth. We're going to explore the interface and the tools together, and then, here's the fun part, we'll put ourselves to the test using actual exercises from the source textbook. It's really the ultimate way to lock in what we learn. Let's jump in.
Okay, let's quickly hit our agenda for today. Orientation, creation, preservation, multiple choice, blanks and true or false, and finally, short answers and matching.
Section 1, Orientation.
So let's look at the core difference right off the bat. On the left side, you've got those classic 2D shapes we all know, the flat circle and the flat square. They have height, they have width, but zero depth. But now, look to the right. In Paint 3D, that flat circle literally puffs out into a fully realized 3D sphere. That flat square extrudes into a solid 3D cube. Paint 3D doesn't just let you draw unique flat art. It actually gives you the tools to build, manipulate, and edit real 3D objects right there on your screen. It's a total game changer.
Okay, here's your command center. Up at the very top, you've got your title bar and the menu. But look just below that. This is where the real magic happens. You have your brushes tool, which opens up 10 different brush options, and a color palette over on the right. Right next to that are your 2D shapes and 3D shapes tools. When you click these, the menu on the right side of your screen instantly changes, bringing up specific libraries for exactly what you're trying to build. Oh, and you also have a names toggle tool over there to hide or show the names of these tools, which is honestly a total lifesaver as you're getting comfortable with all the new icons.
Section 2, Creation. Getting started is honestly super simple. It's just 3 quick clicks. First, you just hit the Start button on your desktop to bring up the menu. Second, locate and click on Paint 3D. And when that welcome screen pops up, you just do step 3. Click on New to fire up a brand new project. It really is that straightforward.
Now, this part is absolutely crucial. When you draw something, you need to understand the controls that pop up. Let's say you've selected a flat 2D square and dragged it onto your canvas. Before you finalize it, a couple of super important buttons appear right next to it. First is the Stamp button. Clicking this instantly creates an exact copy of the shape you're working on. It's literally making a clone. The second is the Commit button, which usually looks like a little check mark. You click Commit to basically tell the program, yep, I'm completely done drawing this. Keep these 2 terms in the back of your mind because I promise you they're going to show up on the test later. All right, here's where we really see it build into the third dimension. On the left, we have a basic flat 2D square. You can see the Stamp and Commit buttons we just talked about, along with a rotation handle. But look at the right side. That is a 3D model of a fish pulled right from the 3D Shapes library. When you draw a 3D model, it has that exact same rotation handle. But when you click and drag it, you aren't just spinning a flat image around like a steering wheel. No way. You are physically rotating a 3D object in space, letting you check out its sides, its top, its bottom. That rotation handle is literally the key to unlocking the 3D effect.
Section 3, Preservation.
Now, saving your work in Paint 3D is a bit different from the old MS Paint, and there's a huge reason why. You click Menu, then Save As, but crucially, on step 3, you want to choose Paint 3D Project. Then you just type your project name and hit Save. Why do we do it this way instead of just saving a quick image file? Because saving it as a Paint 3D project preserves all those amazing 3D elements. It means you can open the file up tomorrow, grab that 3D fish, and rotate it all over again. If you just save it as a regular flat image, boom, all that 3D data gets flattened permanently.
Section 4, Multiple Choice. All right, pop quiz time. Here is your first question, straight out of the textbook's practice section. What are the ready-made models of humans and animals actually called in Paint 3D? Think back to the tools we just looked at. Are they 3D objects, 3D doodles, 3D models, or 3D shapes? Take a second and lock in your guess. And the answer is 3D models. Remember that little blue fish we were spinning around earlier? That was pulled directly from the 3D Shapes tool, specifically from the ready-made section designated for humans and animals, which is officially titled 3D Models. Section 5, Blanks and True or False. Let's rapidly rattle off these fill-in-the-blank answers based on the word bank. Number 1, the title bar. That's the bar at the top displaying your project name. Number 2, the 2D Shapes tool. That's used for drawing flat stuff like circles and rectangles. Number 3, I warned you this was coming. The stamp button is used to create a copy of a 2D shape. Number 4, as we literally just learned, 3D models are those ready-made models of humans and animals. And finally, number 5, to add text in Paint 3D, the text tool is used. Pretty intuitive, right? Okay, let's tackle these true or false statements really quick. First, Paint 3D can only be used to create 3D shapes and not 2D art. That is false. It handles both beautifully. Second, the menu consists of options like New, Open, and Save. True, exactly as we saw when we saved our project earlier. Third, the Commit button is used to rotate a 2D shape. False. Remember, commit means you are totally done drawing it. The rotation handle is what actually rotates it. Fourth, you can change the color of 3D models after placing them on the canvas. That's true. You just select the model and hit Edit Color. And fifth, to add 3D text to your drawing, you must first click on the 2D text option. False again. Once the text tool is active, you can just jump straight to the 3D text option on the right. Section 6, Short Answers and Matching. Let's match these columns up. Based on our little workspace tour earlier, this should be a total breeze. The Brushes tool maps directly to displaying those 10 brushes and sliders. The 2D Shapes tool naturally opens up the 2D Shapes library. Next, the 3D Shapes tool perfectly matches the 3D library and models. Then we have the Names toggle tool, which hides or shows the tool names. And lastly, the Options tool gives you stuff like crop and the 3D view. See how visualizing the interface makes these concepts just snap right into place? All right, we've got one final short answer question to wrap up this exam. Think back to our side-by-side comparison of the flat square and the 3D fish. Here's the question. After drawing a 3D object, how do you actually see its 3D effect? The answer is, you rotate the shape using the rotation handle. Just dropping a 3D object onto the canvas can honestly look a little flat at first glance. It isn't until you grab that rotation handle and physically turn the object in space that the true 3D depth just pops. That handle unlocks the entire dimension. And with that, we are done. Congratulations, you've officially navigated the Paint 3D features and crushed the exercises. We journeyed all the way from figuring out the basic interface and the difference between flat shapes and 3D models right through to saving our projects and solving the textbook questions together. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you actually understand the tools and exactly how to manipulate objects in 3 dimensions, what incredible 3D world are you going to open up Paint 3D and create first? The canvas is literally yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.